Nothing much, man. Just
Hi.
plugging in here. I think Val's coming definitely. I don't know if
Hmm.
Jasper's going to be here for this one.
I think he said that he wasn't going to be able to.
Yeah.
Okay.
But-
He said maybe. He said, like, if I pack fast enough, but that usually means no.
Yeah, isn't he going to?
I like the tiny couch in front of your real couch.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I like that. I like the miniature couch. That's smart. I want one for the
They
dogs.
stay off my furniture if I give them their own.
We should definitely get one for the dogs. Sorry, that's your children, but, like, I want one for my dog.
No, I get it. Same thing. All right.
Do you want to give Val a second?
Yeah, we'll give her a couple minutes.
Yeah.
did say
Lindsay's making something to eat real quick anyway, so she doesn't have the kids until she eats. So I might have a child come running into my lap any minute.
You're
Aw.
fine.
What? Yeah. Oh, okay. Henry's playing the new Pokemon and telling me about it.
Oh,
Okay.
cool. Ask him what his favorite Pokemon is. I want to hear him talk for 35 minutes
God,
about it.
don't do that. Please, God, don't do that. I don't listen when Bree does it.
What's my favorite Pokemon, Jason?
Fucking the Mawile.
Yeah!
Why do I know that? See, there's brain space dedicated to that. I
'Cause
could have
you're a
learned to play the
good
piano.
friend.
That's there forever.
Yeah,
You're a good friend.
I guess. How was Christmas? How's New Year's, man? What's going on?
It's over.
Yeah.
I'm glad.
We still have to take down Christmas. That's going to be fun.
Oh, yeah, we're doing that on Saturday, I think.
I'll probably be the one doing that. I put up Christmas. I'll take down Christmas.
Help. Like, there's nothing
Oh.
to say.
I put it up, so help me God, I'll take it down.
Oh, boy.
Congratulations on the writing, by the way.
Dude,
Yeah, everyone watching at home, we did finish the rough draft of everything, so that's good.
some of it's real rough, but that's the point of a rough
Real
draft.
rough,
Like, we're
yeah.
coming back to it where
Yeah,
I
it's
finally,
there,
yeah,
so we can work on it now.
I
Yeah.
finally updated all the notes for Titan Shard Bunker and stuff too, because that was one of those things you kept getting tagged in, and it was on me.
I was wondering why
Yeah,
Peter
it's
didn't get
now.
that tag so many times. Tell
But-
me. Be like it's not my turn.
I think we just figured it out because I thought I updated it and I didn't.
Oh.
I just had notes that I'm like, I have them written down on this side, and I just never updated it.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Sweet.
because I think he looked at it for the third time. He's like, I don't know what you want me to do on this because I.
I know you don't want me to put more notes in it.
Yes.
Dude, you guys have been blowing through editing and spell check and stuff. Like, it's like today specifically, it's just been this week.
Yeah, I mean, luckily it's been slow at work, so I've been able to keep like a browser open and kind of sneak a couple things in throughout the day. That is going to end real quick in like a week. But the last 2 weeks have been really good for like getting a little bit of working because I've been able to do the art stuff in the mornings because it's slow anyway.
Right.
But now it's so slow during the holidays that I can actually keep a tab open for editing stuff for when like just nothing's going on. So for as long as that's happening, I'll be able to really stay on top of it and not be up till 2 a.m. every morning. But
It honestly felt really good to look back on the last book meeting
yeah,
and we kind of promised the moon. It's like, well, we're going to get this done. And then we got it done.
Yeah.
yeah.
That's
Well, 'cause
insane. Like,
That's the thing. Like, part of
During
me
the
felt
holidays?
bad because you guys were clearly like with all the updates you were posting. It was like, man, they're really busting their ass getting this thing done before New Year's. But then I was thinking about it in terms of January now. You guys' main focus now goes to covering edits and just revisions coming from me, from Susan, from Valerie, working on stuff with Jasper for the layout and just logistical stuff as far as like figuring out printing and all the rest of it. You guys can almost shift focus now
well, we still got
to
modules.
the next step.
Modules.
Yeah.
True. Yeah,
Modules
there's
are
still
big.
modules. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it's true. And
But that's good. We needed that. Like, again, we have a benchmark for everything now. We can go back, and it's like, at least if we're adding whole sections or paragraphs, whatever, we still have that template. And
Yeah.
there's a couple of things like items, weapons that we're going to need to probably agree on how it should be laid out. But for the most part, it's all there, at least on paper. And yeah, that's a lot.
It's a lot. That's exactly it. It's a lot, and it means that
My dog.
I'm not.
Did you
Under
knock
your
the
bed.
again? You son of a bitch! Stop going under the bed!
I mean, he's safe there.
I'm worried he's peeing under there or something.
I don't think so. I think he's just a small dog and can fit there, so why not?
Because it's not for you. It's not for you.
I don't think he
I'd
cares.
be more worried about him peeing on the bed.
Right, which he has done, because he's a puppy, and of course he has.
What has he done?
Pee on your bed.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Gross.
Do you have any quarters we've gone through doing laundry?
I have a special, like, this is for babies cover for my bed so that I can sleep and not worry.
Hey, Val?
Hi.
Hi. You sound windy.
That's just a AC unit, water heater. I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'm still getting things out of my car. I just want it to come as soon as possible.
Dude, you're fine.
fine.
You're fine. We're just shooting the breeze. We haven't talked in a couple of weeks. Like, I think this honestly helps to remind each other that we're humans and not just Discord voices barking at each other.
No, but see, if we're Discord voices barking at each other, it means we get more done.
Maybe, yeah. The last 2 weeks are anything to go by.
We don't have Ashley this week, right?
No, she's out of the country.
She's out of the country.
That's right. Okay.
Oh.
All right. I just wanted to make sure. I was going to ask Ashley to do it, make the intern do stuff, but I just want to make sure we keep a list of questions for Jasper, so we're not losing anything.
Oh, yeah. I guess that falls on you because you have the notebook.
I do have the notebook.
God, what a terrible intern we have. Just took off.
Just up and leaves.
Yeah.
Dude, the last session I was keeping notes and I went on the Discord to write my notes down and Ashley had already done it and I was like, you bitch.
How dare you be so
How
efficient?
dare you?
I'm both proud of you and jealous.
Oh, God. Okay. We can give you just a couple of minutes to settle.
Yeah.
Down. It's okay.
Do you want to?
It's okay.
Take a minute.
It's okay.
Fine.
okay.
You're fine.
Take a
It's
breath.
Okay.
It's okay.
Okay.
Are you
then,
going back to school?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, then I'll hang up and see you in like 5 minutes.
Okay.
Okay. It's alright if it takes 6. It's fine.
It's okay.
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 But
10 is
only
out. Don't take
6.
10.
No.
Right. Okay. Time me.
Okay.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Start.
I'm not timing shit.
Got
I'll just
it.
tell her it was 10 no matter what.
It was 12 minutes. I'm furious.
Hi, Pippin. Don't go under the bed. I don't like you down there.
Oh my God. So, the everything list.
Mm-hmm.
I've done the latest passing of regions. There's going to be more. There's always going to be more. But I'm just going to work my way from top to bottom again and just keep taking broad strokes until that, because some of that stuff's in its first revision and
Yeah.
it's a lot. I got to find a day to do fiction stuff.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. Regions are
Yeah.
all edited up, and I edited up to races, which means I did one thing on the everything list, but if I say I did everything but races, it makes it sound like I did more. So.
I am, as of now, I had to take a break at Lizard Folks, so I have about a half dozen races left to go.
Nice.
I think tonight I'm going to try to finish those and hit the classes.
Okay.
Sweet. Classes are very small. Like, it's not... I
Yeah.
didn't even give them each separate things. It was just like, here's
Yeah.
a list, because we can't put
Legally
anything.
speaking, we can put
Yeah.
very little in there, except
it's
for
just like-
endurance. Like that's
Yeah,
Here's how they generally behave and how they train. And that's like it.
yeah,
yeah.
which I think is fine. I mean, if the material exists elsewhere, I don't feel compelled to put it in our book.
Yeah.
I
So-
still think it's the weirdest thing in the world. You can't say, "Go buy the Wizards PHP, like
That is weird. Yeah.
PHP. Like you can't do it. Like
Player's handbook.
Yeah.
Pages.
yeah, I don't know. But yeah, no, you can't even reference that it exists.
No, that's so weird.
Jameson left me a note today, and it was so. So the forward of the book,
Yeah.
it mentions it's like, yeah, I always wanted to try something D&D, and he's like, can we use the full name? And I'm like, I don't know.
I don't think we can even
I think
use
you
the
have to
abbreviation.
say tabletop gaming.
Since then, I don't. Since I edited that, I think it occurred. You can't even say D&D. I think you have to say like tabletop gaming.
I'm
Yeah.
not sure. I can
think
call
every
my
time we say the DM, we have to change that to the GM.
Jesus fucking Christ! How petty can you be?
I believe so, and it's problematic because I've been writing DM, and even as I wrote it in one of the things, I was like, oh, we're gonna have to change this. But I already wrote DM like 17 times, so I'm just gonna do it again.
Yeah. Fuck.
But yeah,
No.
that's Dungeon Master you're not allowed to use, which is dumb because people in BDSM use it all the time. So
Well, let's just reframe the whole thing as a BDSM manual.
Yes.
yes,
We're gonna have to change the cover slightly, but I think we can get it there.
we just put a whip in her hand. It's fine. She's already got kind of a dominatrix look about her.
Boy. What did you? So okay, I haven't seen the newest notes yet for the fiction. Thank you, because I was out when we were at the aquarium and I was dying. And you wrote some really nice stuff about she, and that's like, oh, thanks, man. That was really fucking nice, because.
Oh yeah, no, dude, it was. I don't want to say night and day because it makes it sound like the stuff before was shit, but it was just like, it was really good. Like it was very, very nice. Like it read really well. So
Thank you.
yeah, yeah. So I mean, a lot of the notes for the Divided are similar to the initial notes for She.
Mm-hmm.
In that the main issue with Divided is just that there's a lot of places that would be helped by dialogue or by more dialogue.
Yeah,
you know?
I wanted to get a lot of it's internal because I wanted the dialogue when it happens to be more powerful.
Yeah,
Because you don't really get to hear these characters talk to each other until the end, and I haven't even seen the notes yet. It was more just like, what you think generally, because that was a story I kind of found partway through writing it. Like I feel like I got what I wanted to do with it.
You had trouble with that one at first. I remember.
Yeah.
Speaking of trouble, I did read your notes for Target, and I'm having trouble trying to figure out how to reframe that one, because when Jason kind of pitched me Target, and like I wrote it, but like it's Jason's base idea. The general concept was an introduction to Brightport more than it was about Seraph. So like, I remember there was a portion where you like highlighted where I was describing Brightport and was basically like, well, this has nothing to do with anything. But Brightport was supposed to be the point. So I feel like I framed that poorly because it was supposed to be like, this is the dirtbag city that it's in.
yeah, I didn't get that. I think that it would need to be a very different story if that's the way you wanted to go. I think that you would need to incorporate some way that the city either helps or hinders that story. Or right now it's just a backdrop, which is fine, but you don't need to go into excessive detail about it. You know,
I think that like it's there in that, like Seraph gets the contract from some rich, that's. It's basically supposed to show the divide between the haves and have-nots and all that stuff, but it's more.
Yeah.
You're right. It's more like the zombies in Walking Dead, where that's. Yeah, so I think maybe that could be fleshed out so that more, like that's more of the spotlight. But I don't know.
yeah. Knowing that now, it makes the reasoning behind some of those decisions make much more sense to me. I just think that we could go further with it. I think that the city needs to become a character in that sense.
Yeah.
That is probably because that probably solves the problem with it all being too easy for Seraph, right? Like make it more difficult because the city is such.
See, what I was going for is it was so easy because he knows the city so well. Like he knew exactly where the alleyway was, so he was able to climb over the roofs to get to the alley because he just knew the city like the back of his hand.
Would it be better if the chase were a little longer?
I don't think it needs to be longer.
Okay.
I just think because right now, like it from beginning to end, it's like he's so good that this is so routine that I don't know why I'm reading it because I know what's going to happen in the end.
Okay, that's okay.
Yeah. And I
So
think that was originally it was like this is so easy for him, and this is an introduction to the city itself through the eyes of someone who knows the city so well that something like an assassination is no problem.
And if you remember when we were first talking about it, I viewed it as more as like, okay, he's going to go here, and that's going to be a dead end. This, and then like kind of pick up the trail
Right.
as he goes along. Whereas this was much more. He gets the contract, he goes to investigate this thing, and he's on to the guy. Like he's very
Right.
like
And I didn't want it to be like 5 different scenes that were the same thing over and over
right.
again.
I think it could be even something as simple as like he gets there, he knows what's up, he's good enough at this that he pretty much like he Sherlock's the scene. He understands exactly what happened, and he knows what to do, and he's a professional, so we believe that he's going to go do it. But he gets out into the city, and maybe because the city is the way it is, it throws something at him that he doesn't expect,
Right.
and that can actually bring a new element into it that the reader wouldn't be expecting.
Right.
You know.
8 minutes, Valerie.
Was it?
It was exactly 8 minutes and 2 seconds and
man.
0.65 seconds.
I am disgusted.
Well, I was close.
You're not as heartbroken as we thought you might be.
No, I was kind of... Welcome to the call.
Hi.
Thanks.
All right. So I think we should probably get right into it. I mean, I've got a list of items. I'm sure everybody else has got lists of stuff to get into. Who wants
yeah.
to start?
How's artwork going? Because that's
Okay.
changed drastically over the last couple of weeks.
It has. We have added in the last 2 weeks. We've added. Hang on, I didn't do that right. We've added 21 new items to the list in the last 2 weeks. But that being said, we are still over 70% complete.
Yes.
With another almost 15% currently in progress. Of what remains, some of these I want to talk about tonight. There are 3 other items, 8 characters, including the new Scion art. 1 monster remaining, the one we just added. 7 symbols that Ashley's not currently working on. 4 recipes, which we also need to talk about, but I don't know if we can even talk about it without Jasper.
I think we need to hold him down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell us what the recipes are right now to our faces.
And 10 module items.
Okay.
Which we broke ground on this week. I have 3 pieces in progress, 2 for 1 person, but still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that is something. We've got the circus sheebs in progress.
Ooh.
I
and we've
can't
got-
wait to see those.
And we've got Matt's lighthouse and orb, which you guys saw this morning, in progress. Those will probably be done like tomorrow. So
That's fucking awesome.
Sweet.
that leads me to, let's get right into it. Let's talk about the maps for the modules.
Okay.
Because
Perfect.
I know that was something we wanted to talk
just
about
kidding.
like a week and a half ago.
Yeah, not
Oh,
those maps. Other
I
maps.
was like,
We are-
oh,
we're gonna
We
talk
do
about
need to
those
talk
too.
about maps
Yes.
because that's
Did
a
you see my-
fucking thing.
Did you see my note this morning, Val, about I finally got all those maps together for you?
Yes.
Okay.
It's I'm a little confused about it, but we'll get to that.
Okay, perfect. So let's roll through this first. So, my initial reaction when one of the backers said that they wanted to do a map for their art is that we would, even if we did the map ourselves, that would incur some kind of cost to their total. But apparently that's not the case.
Well, it depends on the map, the size of the map, all that stuff.
Yeah.
This is Andy. And this was the last time I spoke to him about this specifically, which was weeks and weeks ago. So I would need to ask specifically, but he said something about putting $200 toward it. And with a $100 budget for the module itself, that gives us $300. But I don't know exactly how specific he wants this. If he wants this to be more of an overarching, kind of a loose, sketchy map of the underworld, or if this is more of an intense town or city map, because obviously that changes things drastically.
Yeah, we did talk a little bit about that back and forth, and I think what he arrived at is he would like to do like a dungeon or a battle map.
Okay, that I can.
rather than doing, because I was like, dude, if you do the whole continent, that's going to be like $500 if we use the people we've been using at least.
At
If you do,
yeah.
if you do just a single city, it might be $500.
Yeah.
So, like, just bear that in mind. I mean, we'll do it if that's what you want to do, but you have a budget of $100. So,
Right.
Yeah.
And
So-
like that's tacking
Yeah.
on something that big this late in the game, and that's what I tried to tell him. It's like the cheapest we could get that is like 300. The cheap we're talking, and I'd have to work with somebody on that.
yeah,
But-
for sure, because that would
so-
take a lot of input from you, because we're mapping out another part of the world.
Yes.
Which is fine if that's what he wants to do. I think we have time if we decided right now to do it. But let me look back at our conversation, because I think that we moved away from that by the end of it.
Okay. And again, I can hit Andy up tonight after this meeting and just ask.
Yeah.
Did you just dab, Valerie? Did you just go for a dab
Oh.
real quick?
No, I sneezed.
Oh, okay.
You sneeze like this.
It's like I just got to squeeze one in before we.
I just really need to dab.
Man, talking about these maps makes me want to dab.
I get that. Yeah, so what he's thinking right now, as of the last time we spoke, which was on the 20th, which God was 2 weeks ago now.
Holy okay.
The last where we kind of left it was that he was thinking more of a battle map for like the end of the module rather than an entire city or region map.
Did he want to do something custom or like a straight up, like a grid style, loose battle map type of thing?
So I don't know, because we haven't done any battle maps yet, so I don't even really know what questions to ask.
I'll hit him up. I'll hit
Okay,
him up
yeah.
and I'll ask.
Yeah, because there's two unknown questions. One, what does he want it to look like? Because if it's something that your software can handle, then we can definitely take that on. But
Totally.
the second question then becomes, do we incur a cost for that? Because if the answer is no, then you're doing 12 maps now.
Yeah.
Like there's no way, or 11, I guess, because Rob's doubling his.
Yeah,
but-
I'm. So, the cost has been dealt with.
Well, I know, yes, but there's a cost in time that I think
Oh,
we
that's
should...
what we're talking about. Yes.
Well, yeah, I mean, put it this way. They have $100 in their budget. If we're
Yes.
giving them an entire image by way of a map for free, they still have $100 in their budget, and you are now making 12 maps.
Well,
So-
I always looked at it like that eats up their page count, so that might not be something that they want
Yeah.
to do. Because, like,
I don't
Rob,
think Jane's gonna have a map.
no, I don't think Jane needs one, and I think Jane would be the first one to say it's like no, like it doesn't like
Okay.
like a lot of these people are doing real dungeon crawly things or something involving like a big, like with Andy's he might have something for like the last scene, like he has a very specific image in mind and maybe that's what he wants done. Maybe he wants an image to set the scene, or maybe he wants a straight up battle map to show it's like no,
Okay.
this is where the bench is, this is where this is. I can do the map. The way I was planning it out is like Bree's doing a lot of working with a lot of the principal writing for each of these people. I'm working on mechanics, maps, things like that. So we're tag teaming it from both ends.
Sure. So let's do it this way then, at least as far as this one goes, probably for everybody who wants a map.
Mhm.
But why don't you talk to them about what they're looking for the map?
Mhm.
And if it's something that you can do with the software you have and your ability with it, then if you want to take that on, absolutely feel free.
Sure.
If it's something that you can't or don't want to do, then we'll have to, like, they'll have to understand that becomes a part of their $100 budget at that point if we want to hire somebody else to make the map.
Yeah, and that's just when we did the initial calls with everybody, I told them it's like, yeah, I can, if we're looking for a pretty, like I did with Titan Shard, like I kind of showed them it's like, okay, here's where things are and here where but if you want to go into more detail or make it more grandiose, then we're probably gonna have to go outside of what I can do.
Okay, great. So if you're able to work with him to figure out what he wants, and assuming that you can do it, then he's still got his initial budget plus whatever else he wants to pitch in for other visuals. So that's totally fine.
Which is a slippery slope where I think that if he's not going to have a map, we might want to say, like, hey, we don't want to take your money and do something more grandiose, because then I think every person who's doing a module will be like, I could chip in another $100 to get more of my stuff done.
And it's,
I mean, but again, it's going to hit the page count. So
that's the thing. If we have a
Yeah.
finite amount of pages to work with and time, because the more art we get done, the more time it's going to take to get we have
Yeah.
to get.
Well,
this
yeah.
done.
I mean, nearly everybody's asked to get more than one piece already. So,
Yeah, I kind of figured.
so which is fine because right
Yeah.
now we can do it.
Right.
But I only have descriptions from 1, 2, 3, 4.5 people.
And that's something that I'm going to start cracking down on as far as module folks who are probably watching this. Hi there. Is like dates, because some people still haven't given me their basic idea for their module.
I'm gonna
And
give
I
Brian
can't
a call.
write it if I don't know what it's going to be about. We're nearing the point where it's like, if I can't write it, it can't be published, and we
Yeah.
can add it to the digital version, fine, but like we need to be able to print it alongside
And that's
the
the
other
thing.
thing we're printing.
You paid this much
Yeah.
to be a part of it. We
Yeah.
really want it in there, man. Like that.
Listen, guys, backers, if you don't provide something in the next week, I'm going to write your module and I'm going to do it in crayon.
Backwards R's, all kinds of
Yeah.
stuff. Hand it to your kids. They'll do great.
Yeah, they'll do a great
Yeah,
job.
exactly.
Yeah.
You'll do
Draw
the art. It's
holder.
free.
Do it. It'll just be a Charizard, but it's like the holder's written next to it.
Backers, we're gonna pin your module to the fridge, and it's gonna be great.
Also,
I'm pinning this book to the fridge when it's done.
when people are asking for two, Rob, Theatrical Scott, he has decided probably to make his double modules just one big module.
There's no way that's
Yeah.
not
Fine.
probably. Like,
Yeah,
it's gotta
that's
be.
the thing, is he said probably, and then he sent me 22 pages of
Yeah.
modules.
Yeah.
He
So-
really
I haven't
Jasoned
read it
that
yet,
up.
but I was
Like-
going to comb through that for Yeah, that's
So he
that's
gets
totally
two pieces
fine.
of work for that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we're just going to take the $100 and slide it
Double
over.
it up, yeah.
Yeah, that's totally fine. Honestly, I'm leaning towards my faster staff members for this team for this. Like you said, Carlos started yesterday and he's already almost done with Matt's. So
Carlos.
yeah, so I mean, I think we're in pretty good shape as long as we set some deadlines for when we need certain things from people. You know.
Love it.
Yeah, but otherwise we're in pretty good shape art-wise. There's a couple people who I'm chasing, but not really that many people, honestly. Everybody's working. I've heard from almost everybody since at least Christmas.
Oh, wow.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's actually super impressive for art folks. No offense, art folks.
Not Adam got slowed down a little bit with the holidays, but he did send me roughs.
Yep.
Dude, I love the Jason. He's so...
It's again, I thought that was just neck, not beard at first, and
That was very offensive. Yes,
yeah,
I saw it too.
because
You
I looked
squint.
like a hut. But no, that looks really good,
Yeah.
and
Steve had some kissable lips that needed
he
to
did.
be toned down a
he's
tiny
very
bit.
Steven Tyler. He was like maybe like 10%. Like let's shave them down. And Yulin. So that's probably going to be Adam's last set by the time he's done. I'm not sure.
Yeah, we might be able to send.
We
send
might
him
be
some more, but
you might be
we're
out of
almost
stuff for him to
done.
do. by
That's
the
what I'm
time
saying.
it's
We might be
out.
done by then.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think the only thing we probably have left is like either module stuff or cast members.
Yeah. So no, cast members. Everybody's either done or in progress.
Oh my
That's so
God.
fucking cool. They've been looking
I did
great.
not
by the way.
expect
Let me see. So
Dude.
right now for the cast, the only people who are still in progress. God, I used to be able to tell because it was a big red chunk on the image list, but it's not red anymore.
No, you got to go hunting. Yeah.
So Rodolfo is working on Mandy and Michael.
Mhm.
Carlos is working on Robert and Jamie, who we've seen our first draft for.
Yep.
Steve is in progress. Jason's in progress. Zach is in progress. We've seen that.
Zach looks badass, by the
Zach
way.
looks so
Yeah,
fucking good.
He was really happy with that. He was like, "Can you put like a cigarette in my mouth?" I was like, "Sure."
It's a ranch cigarette because memes.
Cigaranch. What else? James is in progress. Xavier checked in with me earlier this week. That's everybody. All the other ones are done. So
Damn.
It's
Yeah.
fucking sweet.
that
Alright.
we never the thing we never thought would get done.
Yeah. That's the thing we were
Aside
both
from
worried
that,
about.
the only other characters that aren't brand new additions that haven't been done are Dagon, because I just got that description. The vampire, because I
Yep.
just got that description, and the new Scion stuff and Draconis, because we just got Draconis. Actually, do we even have Draconis
don't
yet? Do we
think
have
we
the
got
description?
that.
I don't think we have Draconis.
I mean, we have the old art. If
Hold
we're
on.
comfortable
Hold on.
just
I'm
like
gonna hit
this,
up
but
Jake
nastier.
now.
Okay, shame him on this
Here's
recording.
The thing.
He did move.
He did move. That was a while ago.
Look, I'm trying to give the guy. It's still Jake.
It's still Jake.
I know.
I
That's
love
the
Jake,
thing.
but Jesus.
I put characters like for Draconis, for Travis, basically for Yenward. It's like, I'll write them. It's fine. Like,
We
to
need a
Tom's
description
credit,
for Draconis, right?
yes, description for his physical self, and I think he also still needs a bio.
Jesus Christ.
And he never got it to me, and I'm just gonna write it soon.
Yeah,
so.
don't even mention the bio. Let's just get a
I'll
description.
go for Groke. Fuck it.
Tom's technically sent me his bio, but it's more of a narrative where it's like, that's our yen word, and I'm like, that's a weird thing to put in a book. All right. And he repeats it like 4 times. It's like, he describes a situation that yen word was in, and then goes, that's yen word, and I'm like, okay, I guess
Maybe
I
if
can
we
turn
need
this into a
like a
bio.
little filler somewhere, we can put that in as like a little text box or something. Probably not though.
I texted Jake. I'm sure he'll get back to me lickety split.
Yeah,
That'll be great.
immediately. I'm sure he was staring at his phone waiting for you.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know Jake at all. I've never talked to him, so I can't say anything.
He's at Bojangles right now.
What you hear on the show is what you get. That's Jake.
Pretty much. Yeah, that's fair.
He's
Okay.
on coke.
Val, do you want to talk about maps?
Yeah. Okay, so one thing, let me go back
get to
to it.
Wow, is that Jake?
Yes. Sorry.
He did respond right now.
Oh.
Anyway,
Aw.
sorry,
I
that
feel
was
bad
cool.
now.
Good job, Jake. Proud of you.
Sorry.
Okay, maps.
Maps. In the folder, are these all of the maps?
That's everything that we ever considered finished, which is lots of drafts of the Alara map specifically. But if you sort by new, you'll get the most recent one of each type will float to the top.
Right. What about Brightport?
Is Brightport? No, it is in there. It's after the world map. File is called Brightport Third Draft. .tiff. You're just not seeing it, huh? Hmm.
Does it
I'm gonna
have
sp-
link sharing on? Because that's something we ran into earlier
Oh.
today.
That's probably
not
it.
be
Let me
shared.
download and re-add it. Hang on a sec.
That's something.
I think that's I just
Susan
right-clicked it
couldn't
and it won't let me share a link. So I bet you that's exactly what happened.
Because when I was going through Brightport, I realized that there's something spelled wrong on the Brightport map.
And
Where was the link to all this posted?
where was it posted? I posted it this morning in my art dump,
Oh, okay, yeah.
my art puke.
So okay, to not crush Daniel's spirit, are we getting all the notes together one last time and sending it over?
Yeah, I put in a text file in the folder with all the maps to take
Okay.
everybody's notes on all of the maps. And before, I just want to set expectations. I'm going to look at the notes beforehand and I'm going to determine what is going to be necessary to actually send to Daniel.
Okay.
I think it'll probably be most of it, but I just want to make sure that we're not, because there's some conflicting things from the first time we asked for a revision to the second time.
Yeah.
I just want to, bearing the entire 18-month relationship I have with Daniel at this point, I just have I know what he responds well to at this point,
Right.
or quickly to.
Are
Anyway,
we-
the map is in there now,
There we
Valerie.
go. I see it. Yeah.
Are we doing the color versions?
There it is.
Are we doing the color versions of the Alara map? And
He never provided an updated version of that. We can ask for it. We have the regions map with the color
true.
breakdowns.
I've been using the color map for.
The regions map too. We also need a version that actually has all the towns and cities in the regions because half of them are missing in that.
meant to put
So
the
I
regions
couldn't
one
do
on the
the
list.
regions for like 5 of them.
Can you
because-
guys also make sure that you can edit the list that I put up?
The final thing.
Absolute final map notes for real this time is what it's called.
Perfect.
I could see it. I don't know if I could edit it.
Yeah, Google Docs was weird today.
Uh,
I just had a good idea, as I tend to do. Going to
I couldn't figure out who you were talking to at first. Sorry. Lindsay's reading the text from the Pokemon game to Henry, and I was like, "What are you saying?" behind me?"
Arr.
okay,
Are you able
there
to
we
edit
go.
that, Val?
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
Sweet.
Okay.
All right.
So at least Val can do it. Probably that
I'm
means you
sure,
guys can probably
yeah.
do it too. Okay.
Now, do you so it sounds like you want me to just tell you everything and then you're gonna go, well, we're not doing this and we're not doing this one, and I'm fine with that, but
Yeah.
you want me to like
Get
go
it out
all
of your
out,
system.
tell you
Give me
literally
everything you got.
everything.
I want
Okay.
a double barrel. Just go.
Okay, got it.
Well, it was
and
nice
then-
knowing you, Jameson.
Yeah.
It's gonna end up being 4 pages long.
Yeah.
jeez.
As long as you're done by, I want to say Sunday. I'm gonna
Okay,
put a
yeah,
hard
yeah.
cap on
Yeah,
Sunday.
not any of this
Yeah.
8-minute bullshit, Val.
That doesn't mean Monday morning.
Oh my god.
But yeah, no, I think if we can get that, because we also haven't paid him for the last 3 maps, so I can
Right, because
I can extort
January-
him.
Yep.
I can
That's true. Yeah. We'll send you. as
I
soon
can
as-
withhold military aid.
Here's the
Oh,
thing. I don't even
nice.
think it's
Good
extortion if it's like, well, finish it before we give you the money. That's just paying
That's-
No,
Oh,
someone
yeah, I know.
for
Well, I know. I just feel bad because some of
Yeah.
these are maps he finished almost a year ago for us. So
That's gonna be a
Um,
fun payday. That's
yeah, right.
here's $2,000.
So while we're talking about editing stuff, real quick,
hmm
Brightport nicknames. So Graddock the Wanted, Cooper the Mad, and Ulanda the Blade. Valerie wants to get rid of all the quotation marks, and I think that might be a mistake. And I didn't want to. I didn't want to say like in the thing because I don't know
Well,
what's right.
what's the reasoning?
Okay, well,
No,
no,
someone
I'm-
rounding
I'm-
at me. I'm very scared now.
That was just something in Brightport
Explain
that Valerie,
yourself.
Valerie pointed out, and I was like, I'm not sure if I agree with the reasoning, but I also don't think I'm close enough to the subject matter to make a final decision. But I didn't want to like tag you 16 times, so you two hash it out.
Okay, I'll and it was funny because as I kept going on, I was like, I don't care about it anymore. Said something.
That's where I'm at. No.
I don't care about
okay.
anything anymore. I'm dead inside.
Here's my original thinking of why I thought they should go away. When I think of I don't even know an example. Dwayne the Rock Johnson.
That's perfect. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. When you say Dwayne the Rock Johnson, the Rock is in quotations.
Yes.
Now, if we're doing, I know, Big Richard,
Yes.
Yes.
right? Do we have the big in quotations?
Well, see, that's interesting because big makes it sound like it could be a nickname like you call a fat guy tiny. Like it could be like, well, that's big, Richard. But like, I don't know. That's an interesting one. Graddock the Wanted, Ulanda the Blade. Those are more like,
Right, you say them all the way through.
yeah, they're almost titles in a weird way. They're nicknames,
Right.
but yeah.
Right, and in my head, when you have quotations as a nickname, it's that nickname can stand on its own.
Mm.
But no one's calling Graddock the Wanted, the Blade, the Mad. It's always their name followed by it. So in my head, it feels like then that whole name becomes a title and it doesn't need to be in quotations.
See, I look at it more like Billy the Kid. You know what I mean? Like it's part
But
of
is the kid in quotations?
Is
though?
the kid in quotations?
It's not his name. Like
Yeah, but hang
I
on.
don't know.
I'm not Jack the Ripper. That's what I looked up.
There you
to
go,
see.
Jack the Ripper.
It's not in quotations.
quotations?
Neither
Literally
is
at all.
Billy the kid.
Well, that's
no.
more his job, right? Like that's the Jack the Ripper. That's just what he did. He ripped.
He ripped. Yeah, but
did
he
rip.
didn't rip. He ripped. You know.
See,
He didn't
my thing
Jack
in,
the
like,
Ripper.
Billy the Kid, either the whole thing's in quotes or none of it's in quotes, it looks like. And that's old time fucking cowboy shit, though, so that doesn't really apply. But,
Well, we looked it up as the example to use
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
prove our point. If it was,
and here's the thing, my thing is, you say Graddock, and that's the end. The Wanted is optional. And I feel like there needs to be a way for us to clarify that that's optional so that people aren't at home saying Graddock the Wanted every time they refer to him, because
I
that's
don't-
what his name is, quote
I
unquote.
feel like
But
that
not
would be the
book.
same thing as feeling obligated to say somebody's full name instead of just their first name. Like,
right?
Right.
you know, you don't have to say Jason Massey every time. When you say Jason, people like get that, right? I I don't know. I come down on the side of lose them because I feel like people understand nicknames and you don't need to explain that it's a nickname. But if there's a place where you're going to keep them, that would be the place where I'd be most okay with keeping them. So I'm 70-30 on the lose them side.
And we're this this is for maps we're talking about.
No, we've
for
moved on.
Brightport.
Oh, just in the
Well,
the
it's
whole
also
city write-up.
prepare yourself, Val. It's going to come up a lot in the character section too when we get to that.
We have a lot of nicknames in the character section.
I'm more on the side of keeping them just because I think it's more like mafia names like Tony Two Eyes or something like that. That's kind of how I look at it, but I'm not. Look, I don't have it in me to fight. This is where I'm at. Like, these last 2 weeks were exceptionally tense, and I feel like as we all converge to wrap things up, we're all gonna have different ideas of how things should be.
Yeah.
And we're gonna butt heads more and more. Quotation marks are not my hill to die on.
Anymore.
That's fine.
They used to be.
4 months ago, we would duke it out, but go ahead. I think the names are outlandish enough that they know that that's not a surname. You know what I mean?
Right, and that's the thing. I don't think anyone's gonna think that, you know?
Right.
Especially with the in it, like Graddock the Wanted, Ulanda the Blade,
That's
the
cool. All right.
whoever the Mad.
So I'll
Cooper.
go through that. Yeah, it's Cooper. And say yes to all those quotes. I left a note for you in Aldmore about another thing that I'm like, should we keep doing this? But that's not worth bringing up in a thing because I wrote it already. So like you can respond to that when you feel like it. But yeah, okay. So I can go through Brightport now and finish that up so that I can give it back to you.
Okay.
Sweet. Those were my two things.
Cool. Val, were you all set with the maps? So you feel like you're pretty good with that?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay,
It was just that I couldn't see Brightport, and that was the one that I knew there was an actual issue on.
Yeah, thanks for bringing that up because I didn't realize that wasn't shared.
Thank you for those dates, Val. By the way,
Oh yeah, I can send you an updated version because now that I've gone through all of the regions, there's a few more that are added.
That's I feel like we're going to be adding those. I almost want to save the timeline for another week or so because if we're going to do the thing that we never really came to a consensus on the page, but like I feel like if we're going to do the the timeline where we're listing everything out and then just expand things like on the sides here and there, it's like this is what this war was about, this is what this treaty signing is, this is what we might want to wait until it's all kind of solidified and we know what we're writing, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Speaking of the timeline,
Okay.
2 of the items on the image lists, which are still red, are the timeline and the calendar.
Shit.
Who's making them?
The timeline, I think, is more of a layout thing than a
I
art
didn't know that
thing.
if that was going to be like a graphic or
Yeah, and
or
I think
not,
image list was literally, it started as image list, like anything that had an image. But I think that's more of a Jasper thing. Because like it's going to be writing that needs to be translated onto the page, which is layout.
If there's a blueprint at all for it on our World Anvil wiki, if you go and look at the timeline, that's kind of what I had envisioned. I looked, it's like, oh, we already have one of those where the timeline goes down. It's like, oh, here's what happened in this episode, and then on this side, here's what as you.
And that's a layout thing. That's
it is a layout.
There's a
thing.
line, and then there's dates. So
that's
I
Do
don't
we
think
wanna-
it needs an image.
Do we want to put a note in and make sure that he's aware that that's falling under him?
Absolutely, yes.
Because I don't want to surprise him with that.
That's a big one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be a lot of rearranging and trying to
All right. So
make
I'm
it
looking
look
at
pretty.
the wiki at the collective timeline.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you what I'm looking at.
Oh, okay.
I'm looking
I
at
didn't
my
know if
page
it's like, and
as
this
I
is
write
shit.
the word
So-
Jasper and timeline, so I remember.
Okay.
And I'm gonna throw out this pen when I'm done.
Yeah, I mean this is pretty sparse, and we're not. I don't think we need to put in maybe every single line item that we've been saving, but I think having that entire list to pick and choose from is good.
Yeah.
And look, I know you envisioned an entire history section, and then we definitely should have talked about that aspect more, because that's an aspect where we all started converging. We had drastically different ideas of what we were doing for that. and we all had it in our heads. It's like, yeah, that's what we're doing, and we were all completely off the page with each other. So
Right.
I'm sorry if that wasn't it. We just didn't talk about it. We saved the timeline. It got pushed back, and then now we're here. So
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, I'll hit up Jasper about what we have in mind for the timeline to make sure it's okay with him. I like the idea of having some things that are just like they speak for themselves, like, oh, Winterhaven was founded. That doesn't need like a little highlight bubble, but like, oh, the fucking War
the
of
Siege
Overwatch,
of Winterhaven,
yeah,
or
the
something
Siege
like
of
that.
Winterhaven.
Those.
Well, yeah,
That
Winterhaven was
requires,
founded
like,
is covered in the Winterhaven section.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
fine.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's in the timeline. If there's things that need to be slashed and burned, let me know, because we could take out the town foundings and shit.
No, I mean, I think it's good to have in a timeline because that's a visual, like, oh, look at how much later Overwatch was founded than Winterhaven,
Okay.
shit like
And I
that.
like
People like
that-
that as a visual aid.
And that makes
Yeah.
the highlight things cooler because it's like, oh, and this is something we can go in depth about versus something that doesn't need to go in depth about. Like,
And I
like
was a
you
little
said,
nervous.
It's already covered.
Like all the stuff that's technically, BEC, like the stuff back in the day, like those are much further apart. But that's how a lot of modern timelines are.
Yeah.
Because, like, if you're reading a history book about U.S. history, they're not going to talk too much about ancient Egypt. It's going to be, it's like, oh, here's how we got here, and you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, it's also kind of a non-biased version of history, which it was supposed to be from the start anyway, where it's like, okay, Winterhaven, you talk about the Siege of Winterhaven, it's very Winterhaven based. When we talk about the Siege of Winterhaven in the actual timeline, it'll probably be a little bit shorter, but more concise about like, and this is how it changed the world in a way. Like, this is what happened for Theria from Siege of Winterhaven, not what happened in that one city.
Yeah, and it's more like it's. I think the timeline can be a lot more just facts,
Right.
and like the list that I gave Jason, all of those are in the regions section.
Yes.
It might not be in tons and tons of detail, but that information there is in the regions section.
Yeah, and I saw some of the notes because a lot of the towns and cities overviews were written by Bree, and then I did the timeline. So there are a couple of things where it's like, that was almost a century ago, and it's 48 years ago in the timeline.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So we're going to have to go back and double check all that, but I don't
Yeah.
think that happens too often. I
Yeah.
think it's just...
Yeah, I think it was just once.
And
Yes.
that was the thing where like he's pacing and it's like, it was about this, and
Yeah, that's...
I usually kept it pretty vague, and that's I think one of my notes too at one point was like, okay, did you actually hear this in the show, or are you doing the math yourself? Because if you're doing the math yourself, it's probably wrong because everything was fucking vague from Jason.
There's 600 dates
Yeah.
in the timeline. It's
Yeah.
a lot.
That's why whenever there's a question of like, should we be very specific about this or vague? I'm like, vague. Let's vague this shit up some more. But yeah, timeline stuff. It might be. I was thinking something that could be helpful is right now I gave timelines to the copy editors.
Mm-hmm.
So if you guys wanted to go through that and maybe like bold or like highlight the things that you think would need a little bubble.
That
That
helps.
way, that could help Jason, who gets some perspective on what actually needs that, because
Sure.
Jason's a little too close to it. So if you guys did that, then it would help figure out what exactly needed it.
And honestly, if we did
Okay.
a history section beyond the timeline, it would turn into a history book.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I feel like, personally, I feel like the history section maybe, because in my head that just looks like a wall of text, and no
Well,
one wants to read that.
Yeah.
It's very Vampire the Masquerade. It's very...
Oh, we need an old lady holding a sparkled gimp mask.
Yes.
I don't get it. Sorry.
You gotta
One
look at
second. Where's Vampire the
the-
Masquerade?
It's not here. Come on.
It's not here?
Focus
Why
up.
not?
Okay. What else are we at?
Do you want to go back to nicknames for just a second?
Sure, if you got something else.
Yeah.
Oh, do I have something else?
I think there's a baby screaming on Jameson's head.
Yeah. I
So,
hope so. Otherwise, he just looks miserable for no reason. And then I feel bad.
Hamlin Lushstone,
Mm.
my mortal enemy.
Oh, okay.
The Great Lushstone.
Yeah. And this has to do with characters and how we're titling the characters and all of that.
Yeah.
And like that, I don't care about quotations, whatever. but it's how it's being set up. So in where is Hamlin Lushstone from? Is he from Brightport?
Where did we have him?
Shit,
don't
I have
remember
a
where he is.
document on
I
my
don't think it's
computer.
wait.
Brightport.
I can let you know. H. Hamlin Lushstone, Whitehedge.
Yeah.
Nice.
I think in the Whitehedge document it says Hamlin Lushstone, the Great Lushstone. I don't know if that's necessary to have that in like his actual name and like in his character entry saying Hamlin Lushstone, the Great Lushstone. I think it's fine to put Hamlin Lushstone and then in the bio mention that
That's
he
a
goes
stage
by
name.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right. We'll have to do that for a few characters if that's the way we're going to do it across the board, but I'm sure that's something you'd be aware of when you edit the character section.
That one specifically, I feel like, yeah, that's fine, because that's a stage name. It's like Cher or Madonna.
But
Right.
I think Braddock the Wanted has his in his character section.
I think that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it was specifically Hamlin Lushstone because he's in. I'm cross-referencing him. I think in both places that he shows up. So Whitehedge because he's in notable NPCs, and then Hunter's Bounty travel tables. He's there as well, and currently I have the cross-reference as C Hamlin Lushstone page XX. And then I realized once I got to Whitehedge that. And then I looked at his character bio, and it said Hamlin Lushstone, the Great Lushstone. And I was like, I don't really, because I feel it's funny to say, well, like in the travel table, it's like the Great Lushstone wants you to watch his magic trick. I don't know. And then I say, see Hamlin Lushstone, and then in quotations, the Great Lushstone, page XX. Like, it feels like it's not necessary.
Okay. Yeah, that's it. That sounds fine.
I caved 3 minutes ago. You win. Like I agree.
I did
like
the
that's
same thing.
That's
I did
just
the
a stage
exact
name.
same thing.
That's okay. Totally makes sense. It hits the ear wrong.
I literally did that earlier today. We were talking about, like, right before we jumped into this, we were talking about the new Patreon thing, and I argue with Jason that, like, oh, this should be more comedic. And then Jason went, yeah. And then 4 minutes later, I was like, here's all the reasons that I think it should be a more comedic thing. And he's
Now I
like,
stand there and go,
I agree.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Okay. Then I'll take care of that eventually.
So what about the calendar? If Jasper's, if the timeline's going to fall under Jasper, are we creating like an image for the calendar, or is he just formatting calendars?
Where do we need to
Are
find
we
a
even
calendar maker? Like, what do we do? Like,
There's templates online.
That's a template thing.
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
I feel like that's easy.
because we could just lay it out like the back of a calendar, like a
Yeah, that's what I was
12-month.
thinking. Like each,
Yeah.
like on 1 or 2 pages, have each little month.
like we have for the table on Fantasy Grounds.
yeah, or
Yeah.
in the I don't know if the new wiki has it, but the old wiki used to have it too.
Yeah, that sounds fine.
I got the
That's-
original
Okay.
doc Jamie
Yeah.
made.
Okay, so I'm going to list that as something for you guys to do.
Yeah, that's on us.
Oh,
those two things have been on there forever, and I'm like, those aren't really art pieces, but it's image, so.
you checked out calendar stuff, right, Jameson?
I glanced at it. Yeah, I mean everything looks fine to me as far as
It's got dates.
It's got dates,
got
holidays,
dates.
all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, so that seemed fine. I think that can go right to the copy editors, though. I didn't have any notes for it.
Okay.
I think I already put that under them. Yeah.
Okay, good. I am glad that you put those items in the image list, though, so that we don't forget about them.
And I think that was generally the idea. And for a while, everything was under everything. Like the table of contents had all the images listed in it and stuff like that. And it's like,
Yeah.
I've slowly been moving things to be like, this needs to be in one place and that's it.
Yeah,
So-
there's going to be a couple of things, I guess, that we're not getting out and out art done of it, but we got to gussy it up a bit. It can't just be.
Yeah.
Speaking of, I keep on wanting to call out these good segues, but I hate when people do that. So
Good segue. I'll do it. You can hate me. It's fine.
okay. We initially talked like a month or two ago about for the character chapter having like little icons next to the name for characters who are canonically dead, canonically part of certain groups,
Yes.
things like that. Is that still something we're doing? And if so, we should probably talk about how we're going to do that.
Honestly, I'm already making a demonic alphabet. I could do symbols too. Like, it's fine. Like, I need to do a skull. I need to do a little fang. I can do that. No problem.
I figure we probably would have to have one for each group in the group section then, right?
I know we have, we already have Ashley doing, the actual emblems. So
Yeah.
I
Why
could
can't we
probably
just shrink those down?
do,
Why can't we just shrink those down?
because it would probably look
Yeah,
bad.
they wouldn't read.
But I
You
could
would
do
need to
very
make something that's like
simplified
10
icons
pixels
of
high.
them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because these would probably have to be in black and white for it to work.
Really?
I think so. In general,
Yeah.
like, if you want it
We're
to
very
be really
simply
tiny
colored.
and read well, you need them to be, like, imagine on Discord, you know how we used to have, like, I got rid of them recently, but there was like, oh, here's Merrick, and then someone would send it and it wouldn't look like anything because it was a full bust of Merrick.
Well, what I was picturing more is the Magic the Gathering mana symbols.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which are pretty simple.
Those
I
are
mean,
two
they're-
color too.
Yeah. No, they're rudimentary, but like they don't have to be grayscale or black and white. We're
Yeah, I think they could be one or two colors.
One or two colors. The other thing is, like, when you put them all next to each other, if they get too multicolor or too busy, and then someone's a member of, like, 4 different groups,
Mhm.
it'll start to look uglier and uglier the more
Look like
groups
a
you
bag of
add and more
Skittles.
clumsy.
Mm.
Whereas if they're all black and white, it'll be like, or not black and white, but I was thinking, like, black and transparent, where it's, like, a very simple,
okay.
like, a skull,
We could
for
try that.
example.
I just want to go on the record as saying I like Skittles.
I don't.
I think
the
that
Griffs, except for the purple ones, which are delicious. This is why everyone wants us to make a food channel in the Discord server, by the way.
No.
No? Okay.
No.
I'll tell them. I
No.
told them I talked to you about it, I believe.
I'd rather talk about election coverage.
Here's the thing.
I'd rather
the
not.
conversations are already happening. They want them segregated into their own Discord server that can be muted.
Oh, they want to put it in the airlock and fire it out into
Exactly.
space. That's what they want. Okay, then I'll think about that.
All right. So, anyway.
It reminds me, I have a Group B tomorrow.
Oh
Why
God.
does that remind you of that?
Because every goddamn time we talk about some food that we like and hate, and half the group is completely split on it, and that's what we do.
Oh my god, I was literally just editing it and one of them came up, I swear to god. You guys talk about some sort of food and I remember there's feelings, and then Karen goes into a huge rant about customer service that you're all just a part of. You're there
What?
to react to how
Because
she's
it's the
feeling.
holidays and Karen's under a lot of stress.
Yeah,
and-
no, it's hilarious. It's one of the funniest things I've heard in a while. Anyway, point being, I'm already doing the demonic alphabet, and I told Jason I'm just going to put a lot of squiggles on paper, and he's going to circle the ones he likes. So, at the same time, I can definitely do, like, little simplified icons for, like, this is a dead character, this is a character from the Fang, this is a character from, all those.
Well, don't we only have 2 groups that we're writing about? The Fang and
No, there's a
There's
bunch.
7.
Yeah.
There's a
really?
bunch. There's
Yeah,
the
the White
Royals,
Ravens,
there's
the
the
Royals.
Collectors,
Yeah.
The Old
Oh,
Watch.
just kidding.
all the
Yeah.
player groups.
All the player
Yeah.
groups.
The
yeah,
player
there's a
groups
bunch.
are going to be difficult because they
Yeah.
don't have symbols, so I'm going to have to make stuff up.
I
for
think
them.
you can literally do A,
Just-
B, C,
One,
Think
1,
so?
2, 3, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright.
Just-
I was thinking like a little circle, and then in the middle is a number or a letter.
All right, that helps
Just be
a
careful
lot.
with the font of the 4. We could get sued. That's all. Like, just.
Okay, cool. I used the Legend of Zelda font on our Patreon, by the way.
Did you? Oh,
I did.
No,
No one said
Nintendo, if you're listening.
anything yet,
This is all a big
but-
misunderstanding.
It looks really nice.
And it will until.
for Power of the Players.
Whenever they see this.
Yeah, go check it out on our Patreon, guys.
Module art questions. I think we covered that. Module maps we covered. Oh, what art are we doing over? I think it's time to identify those.
Tig.
Let me find it.
The lemur.
Boop.
I know that was one of them. Yes. I think Gradic was another one we were talking about. Artemis was another one we were talking about.
Gradic is fine. Like
Okay.
Granite colored was fine. Like it aged him up a little bit. Like he appeared a little childlike, but like he's fine.
So, redos. We definitely want to keep redos on a minimum because we went all out on the
Yeah,
scions.
we did.
So,
Yeah, honestly, the Tig is the only one I am. That's a hill. That's a hill for me.
okay. Tig. I'm trying to think of other ones we talked about. Artemis was another one we talked about.
I can't remember Artemis. Let me see. Hold on.
Gorkal.
Gorkal. Yep.
Okay, hold up. Are these in finished folder?
Yeah, they should be. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, let's see here. All right. Okay, so Tig, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Everything looks so good.
It's true. Everything does look good. God, I love fucking Leroy.
Carmen
God,
one
look
looks
at all
good.
this art we did. Oh, Jordana was one we talked about. How do you feel?
It's fine.
Oh, yeah.
It's fine. It's fine.
Okay.
We gotta weigh things out.
All right. I'll point them out as we scroll through.
Yeah, honestly, most of these look
Everything-
really, really good. Like,
Oh, Artemis actually looks
He's
way
fine.
better than I
yeah,
remember.
like again,
So,
color helped
yeah.
a lot of these.
Um,
We're doing emblems and stuff.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think we're good.
All right.
Other than the Tig is the one that like we
All right.
gotta
Fucking sweet. All
Okay.
right, just Tig. Gorkal's
All right.
good too. That was the one. I believe you said it looked like a samurai.
hold on.
I didn't see him. So I think
He
you
might not be
scrolled
in the
right past.
finished. Hold on.
He might be in Arthur's folder.
Oh, yeah, Arthur
shit,
has.
that's
Yeah,
right, he has
I
his own.
transfer them over sometimes, but I haven't done.
I
it
always forget
recently.
that. Yeah, I just have him throw them in the folder because he sends me so much art. I just made him his own folder, so just dump it in there.
There he is.
I'm gonna say this.
Mhm.
Every other orc or half orc we've done looks way stronger than Gorkal. Not from a I can bench this much sense, but I'm talking like, okay, look at Largenhoog, look at Orag, look at Tharn, like all these, and Gorkal's supposed to be the leader of his people, and he just looks a little. It looks like I'm looking at an Asian history scroll.
Okay. I think what Jameson is looking for is a yes or no from you because that's where the buck stops. So, like, do you want him redone or not? It's not a consensus. We're not all gonna vote. Gorkal, yes, no. Let me put it this way. Because this is what it comes down to. If we end up going over budget, that's gonna come out of your pocket. Would you want to pay for a new Gorkal in the book?
Yeah.
There we go.
Okay.
That's how I would put it. Is like, yeah, we don't want to go over budget, but if you would fork up the money for it yourself,
Yeah.
if we end up going over budget, that's what we go over budget for.
Well, happily, we're still over $2,000 under budget.
Depending on shipping, but yes.
Well,
I'm
I mean,
still
specifically
scared.
for the art, based on what was budgeted for the art,
Mm-hmm.
even taking into consideration the new things that we've added,
Yeah.
Yeah,
we are $2,285 under
that's fucking.
what was budgeted.
This late in the project, that's pretty good.
Does
Yeah.
that include all the scions and stuff? Like, did we?
Mhm.
Holy shit!
Wow.
I thought for sure
It's not
we were gonna
exact
be-
because
yeah.
some stuff hasn't been entered yet because we haven't paid for it yet. But
Oh, the
Looking-
maps. Shit.
no, the maps have. I put them all in because we know what the prices are on those.
Oh.
Right.
So,
Yeah,
and
this
that's
is like-
those are the main thing that brings that total up to as much as it is because we paid so much less on the maps than what was.
Yeah,
set
because we
aside.
went with Daniel's prices, and then we went and found artists who. Okay, Jason, I'm gonna throw this out there. I love how Trent looks. I know it wasn't how like perfect to your vision, but I think he looks just scummy enough.
I think with color, it looks a lot better. It's one of those like
He looks like a stupid kid.
he
I
does,
like
and that's
it.
all I wanted.
Yeah.
And it just I feel like we went back and forth so many times. That one for some reason just seemed harder.
Yeah, it kept getting like further
Yeah,
and further. It
The
was
notes
weird.
got like for some reason he got confused or turned around at some point, but it came right back. I think.
Yeah, it's
Where it
fine.
needed to
Like
be,
totally
yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
Where is This is probably under Bree. I wanted to show everybody our first Scion rough thingy thing. Well, not the first one, but the second one.
You might have better luck just going to Discord.
Oh, in the drafts folder, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, there she is. Yeah.
If you sort by new in the
Yeah.
drafts folder, it's the 5th image.
Yeah, so we're
I
that.
love her.
Like, again, we got to make sure the model's correct. Because that
Yeah.
thigh is a little bit, like, Susan was right. The thigh's beefy for Bree.
Yeah,
Brie,
I mean,
yeah.
the costume looks correct now. Her clothing looks correct. It's
Yeah.
She
just
just needs to be a bit more.
her body is
frail.
different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
And
that's what
again,
I'm looking for.
the
Real
burn.
bombastic, over the top, like,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
still pretty sure the burn is something he's planning to add in post.
yeah.
That's
Yeah,
more
I
the
mentioned
color
it in my
thing.
notes just to
Yeah.
be like, just
Yeah.
don't forget it is all.
Right.
Especially because the hair is flying up and backwards, which is great.
Yeah.
It looks
But-
so good. I love it. I can't wait
Yeah.
to see Thantos. I'm like, oh man, she's gonna be in the book anyway. I know she's gonna be in Talor, 'cause that's where she's chilling out now. But like, yay!
Oh, those are some thick thighs.
Yeah, I heard the second C. Good job.
Yeah, she needs to be a little bit thinner. But overall, this is a step in the right. That was what I was hoping for with the first draft. When I got the first draft, I was like, oh no, not again.
Let me
That's
ask you a
not-
question.
Yeah.
When you link stuff,
Mm-hmm.
after stuff like Trent, are you just like, oh, this motherfucker's gonna give me notes now, and I don't want, like, is it that, like,
No, what I don't like is when I link something that I know isn't to the notes, and I get back. That's fine,
fair enough?
Yeah.
because then I know, like, all right, they gave up. We're gonna end up having this redone in 3 months. Is what that means.
fair.
Imagine being in the room with that, because I have to be in
Yeah.
the room when he does that,
Well, okay.
and
we're
it's
on
what
our-
he did with Gorkal a second ago, but for like an hour and a half.
And sometimes, okay, we usually get like 8 or 9 links, and sometimes it's just like, look, this is our 4th revision of Trent. When do I cut ties? Like, when do I
When do I
just-
stop caring?
I don't know, because it's really tough to describe what to draw to somebody I never speak to them, so it's tough. But yeah,
You know who else I'm excited for? Dorn.
yeah, no,
It's gonna be fun.
I have a question about Shaw.
yes,
Isn't he like 15 or 16 or 17 at this point?
he's 14, I believe.
I thought he was 14 when we met him, and that was 3 years ago.
He was younger than that. Well, here, look, I got it in the thing. He
That would
did
be
look young. I will say
S13.
either way, he did look a little young,
He looks very young.
but I thought that was the haircut.
Some people just have baby faces. Like if Jason shaved, you'd be like,
Wow. Okay.
But you know, there are certain people that just need beards to look like adults, right? Like,
Yeah. No, I need it.
especially dudes. I don't know why. Like,
You know what? He does
I
look
got a
very
baby
young,
face, so.
but like I think color will help that. The haircut is the thing that gives me like that is a
Big
boy's
fella.
haircut.
It reminds me of Jonathan Taylor Thomas from Home Improvement.
Wow. Bringing it back
That's
to
what
JTT.
I see when I look at that.
Wow.
JTT.
how did
Actually,
you
not
know
Jonathan
that?
Taylor. I just know that he
I
was on Home
barely know
Improvement.
that.
I mean the older brother.
Brad.
I think.
Brad,
That's
yeah.
what he looks like.
Uh,
But like
he was-
early Home Improvement when they were still all like kids.
Right, not Brad when he was in Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift.
Sure.
Oh my god, really?
Yeah.
Is that him?
Yeah, it was him.
The main character?
No.
Oh,
God, no,
okay.
he wasn't good enough to be. He was the
All right.
bully at school.
Okay, see, I don't know that character. We never watched the second one, remember? We skipped it.
No, we watched Tokyo Drift.
Did we?
Hell yeah.
I don't recall.
Well, we
Isn't
watched all
Tokyo
8.
Drift the best one?
Oh God, no.
Valerie.
Oh heavens, no.
I don't
No, the
know.
most recent
Sweetie.
one is the best one.
No.
You lost. I've only ever seen the first one, so I was done after that. I'm like, okay.
They get better.
They get
They get stupid,
but good.
Jameson. They
Like-
get
Yeah.
real
like
stupid.
real stupid. but
They're
real
fighting nuclear subs in Russia by number 7 or 8. Like
Yeah.
it's fucking
good.
stupid.
Recently, they started fighting cybernetically enhanced androids.
Yes.
But they're still racing cars. Every
They're a
once in while.
counter-terrorist unit used by the government in deep black ops. That's it's fucking stupid, and I love it.
But they still care about family.
They do.
Oh God.
It's the best. I love it. Wait, where was I?
All right.
was looking
I
at
think that's all my notes. Oh, we still got to talk about the leather cover, but I don't know what it would benefits us to talk about it without Jasper here.
Yeah.
Well, okay. We got a lot of notes. This is Jerome, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so is there anything we can do? Because I gave a very loose, like, this is a concept. I put something together. That's the best I could do. But I pictured like lots of hands and stuff, like very.
Yeah. So the main thing that we need to figure out is if there's going to be an illustrative component, then we need to not only have Jerome do the design, but we also need to have an illustrator because Jerome's not an illustrator.
Okay.
So
And the
I
hands
think
thing,
that was
that's
kind of
definitely,
that's kind of our sticking point right now, which obviously we have an entire team of illustrators on hand right now.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure. Oh God. But I'm not sure. I wasn't sure if that's the direction we were headed, or if we wanted to have it be a simpler, more design thing, because it's going to be, I assume, like gold or red foil
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I
embroidered.
think.
So it can't be a super complex image.
No.
right.
But I don't
it still
know.
might take an illustrator.
But it still might take an illustrator. So,
I think I would say let's just put an illustrator on it, because I'm almost positive.
Well, this doesn't need shading, and it doesn't need like
Yeah.
like we
Yeah,
need.
it's
Basically,
just a
like
flat
that picture of
image.
Shaw you have right now, like that could go on the cover. Let's not, but like that, it's black and white lines, very simple.
yeah.
That's what we need.
Well,
we need the hands. And
Do we
stuff.
have any plans for, let me get to, if you go to the front page of the art and images, no, I made an entire folder for the leather cover. If you click into that,
Oh shit.
Cool.
inside art and images, I pulled up some other examples that I thought were interesting that I found online.
Okay.
Yep, there's
just
that
to kinda
Pikachu.
Get a variety of things, but looking specifically at the two that the printer provided as an examples, the Feminomicon and the Pokinatomy, there's a lot of other design elements to those that aren't just the illustration, right? Like there's the Pikachu on there, but then there's all the filigree around it, there's the medical
Yeah.
symbol, and there's all that stuff. Like, do we want any elements like that on the cover, or are we just like title, image, like subtitle or author names, or like what
I really
are
like what the Pikachu one does. I really like
Yeah.
the extra bullshit all around it. Let's just call it that, because I don't know what to.
yeah,
technical
it's
terms
swoopy
are.
bullshit.
Yeah, the swoopy bullshit.
Is it
I like
filigree?
that. That's what Jameson
Yeah.
said, because he knows. All
Yeah,
the
I mean, it's
fancy
kind of
shit.
a filigree thing. I mean, the Feminomicon's more like an Art Nouveau thing.
Yeah.
I
Which
know
also
about
looks
that.
really
I took that. I took that class in college, so
I did.
I wasted that time.
I was one of the dummy kids.
So, but in either case, there's a lot of design elements to it that I don't
Right.
know, that I assume Jerome can do because they're not illustrative necessarily, but we haven't really discussed that. So I didn't know what we were asking for. Basically, what I'm looking for is a list of the components that would need to be on the cover, because I guess the back cover is going to be blank, right? That's what we
I think
Yeah,
decided.
so.
I think
yeah.
so. Yeah.
We need to know what's going to be on the spine if we're going to have him do that, and
Well,
then
if we're
what's
not
going
putting
to
the
be on
damn
the front.
title on we're not putting it on the front. We definitely need to do it on the spine.
Right.
Oh,
We
we're
aren't-
not putting the title on the
That's
front?
what I got from this last bit of conversation. Am I wrong?
I don't think that's what we were talking
I am an idiot.
Because you could fit the title right there above Pikachu
Okay.
if you really want. You could be like, Pokemon bullshit right there.
I
Like,
would rather it be on the front. Yes.
Yeah, we can definitely
Yeah,
put it on the
okay.
front. I think we should
so
put it on
this
the
is the
spine
thing:
too.
is put as much as you want on the front, and the designer's job is to make it fit, right? Like, just give me a list of everything you want.
Okay.
Here's what I'd like to do: give me a list of all the components you would want on the front and on the spine, and the back is empty, so don't worry about that.
Yep.
And then I will send that list to Jerome. Say
Okay.
these are all the elements that we need. Which ones do you need an illustrator for?
Okay.
And
That
we'll
sounds
just
perfect.
we'll
yeah.
just take it
Yeah.
from there.
Yeah, we'll
'Cause-
definitely do that.
I kind of reached a point where I was like, I don't know what questions to ask. Like, I feel like
Right.
Like, I don't know how, and I think that's how we've approached the leather cover from the front.
Yeah.
Sorry, from the start. God, I was writing the word front. So I like the idea of just like throwing it at Jerome, letting him tell us what to do from there. And I really like the idea of having one of the hands on the back, like in that really blasphemous photo I uploaded.
Yes. Walker okay
oh,
with you?
Could I have a McDouble and a McChicken instead?
We're going to Burger King.
Oh, then sure. Yeah, that.
Okay.
Whatever.
Okay.
I don't
Ask for
fucking know.
McDouble.
I mean,
see
I
what
could
you do.
ask him to make that, but I think it'd be
That'd be weird. I don't know what Burger King does.
burgers.
I had to very quickly catch my phone after throwing it.
So that
All
is
right.
everything that I
Yeah.
had.
I am
don't know if you
excited
guys-
for the leather cover. I'm glad that we outsourced that to Jerome. I think that he's going to do a great job.
So, last time we spoke, we're trying to get a finished PDF by the 21st of February.
Yes.
What?
49 days.
Yeah. Oh my God, it's whew. You put a number to it like that. Okay. We're wasting time. No. What do you want to try to get done in the next week? What's the goal? Because for me, it's basically just editing and revisions and stuff,
Yeah.
I guess. But is there something that is more time sensitive than the other? I guess the fiction.
Yeah, if you guys want to shift focus to the fiction, because those are in the region section, which Jasper's going to start to, mow through like brush fires in Australia. So I'm
Yeah.
very topical tonight.
Yeah. Jeez.
That's really sad.
I know, it's super sad. Don't do that, Jasper.
The koalas, they're giving them water. It's so fucking sad. Anyway.
So, so if you guys want to focus on that, so those can be ready by the time he needs them,
Yeah.
I think that would be
Right.
probably the best thing. And
Yep.
then obviously whatever notes you can field from me, Val, and Susan in the meantime.
So what I might do, specifically for Target, because I think A Dying Breed is on the copy editors now, like that's pretty much finalized, but I might make a three-way conversation between us where it's like, how the fuck do I fix Target?
Which, yeah, that's fine. Like, I'm sure we can get there.
Yeah,
Right.
and if you do end up wanting to do another actual call about it, we can absolutely do that.
Okay.
Um,
Cool. We'll figure it out. But right now,
Yeah.
I still need to edit the episode for Monday, so I'm still not gonna be able to get to that for a little bit.
Okay.
Editing, I can do well. Editing,
Yeah.
weirdly enough.
The next week for me looks like basically my goal is to take 2 passes on every piece of writing in the book. Anything that I haven't hit twice, I'm going to hit twice by the end of the week,
Hell
or
yeah.
Awesome.
within the next 7 days anyway.
Valerie, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I want to let me look at the regions list.
The cool thing for you is, like, I feel like the first time you do anything, that's the time that takes you the longest and is the hardest. Then after that,
yeah.
it's just coming back to it. So,
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because that's when I have to like go through and I type in everything and get it all set up. So then next times I'm just double checking. Okay, did I already write that down? Yes, I did.
Yeah.
So
Has
and
it been
goes along.
beneficial for Susan to hit it first before you get to it? Or
I
has it
don't
not
know
been?
because once it gets to me, it's whatever it is.
It's what it
Yeah.
is. Yeah, that's
So,
true. It
I
takes
will
just
say
as long.
it goes through a lot of revisions leading up to Valerie that I think she would have had to catch if it hadn't gone through Susan. So, I
True.
as someone who sees both sides of it, I think it helps. Susan catches a lot of the stuff before Valerie ever even sees it, so there's fewer edits to make.
Cool.
Yeah.
It feels like we've got a process. So anyway, Val, with you back at school, how does the next couple weeks look for you though?
Okay, so how my schedule works is I probably, especially not, I can't really work on anything Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Tuesday, I can probably work on things like Tuesday night, and then Thursday is my day off.
Nice.
I think what I want to try to do is at least touch something every day, even if it's one file, like at the end of the night. If I can do that, I'll feel good about it.
That's my motto. I like to touch something by the end of the night. That's usually...
Okay, well,
Gross.
Please don't.
but I'm really going to try my best to not like fall off the face of the earth, because I don't want to do that. It's not fair to you. It's not fair to me. It's
We got this.
I think we've made a hell of a lot of headway in the last couple of weeks.
Again, you've touched the start of every single region, which is, first of all, the thing that needs the most notes from you.
Yeah.
And second of all, the second pass is easier for you anyway. So I think the bulk of what you have to do is done. And now every time you go back, it's just going to be easier and easier.
Yeah.
Because
So,
a lot of
that's
the mechanic stuff, you're not too like hands-on with. That's more of a
Yeah.
Susan thing, and then I'm going to be working with Alex at some point just to give some
Yeah.
basic notes.
The character stuff is lore based, but it's lore based in like a much smaller way. Like
Yeah.
they don't have years listed next to most of them.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I know
Okay.
with the characters, I'll have to be going to the towns that they're mentioned in, if they're mentioned somewhere, and like making sure that that stuff lines up.
Yeah.
Um,
And with nearly 300 characters, a couple of things are probably going to be out of place. We're going to
Right.
have to fix it, and that'll be fine.
yeah.
We'll get there.
yeah, I think we all got this.
So the countdown's on, guys. 49 days.
49 days.
Enough time.
It's so enough time.
We're gonna be great.
got this.
It's gonna be.
Now I need to use the restroom, so we should wrap up this call.
Oh, well, I have some more things to say.
Wow.
Oh, well, I'm gonna go to the restroom while Jason listens to you talk about the more things.
Well, I care, Valerie. I'll be here.
I'll be right back.
Okay.
I thought we were winding down. It sounded like we were winding down. I'll be right back.
Well, I'm still a member of this team. I'm here. What's up, Val?
Okay, one thing I should probably wait until Bree comes back to say. Oh, here's something that's very important. So I was cross-checking all the different things that we're referencing with the actual files. There are 2 weather events that are not written about that we're saying, look at this page to find out about them.
Okay. Is there any chance you could add that to the weather section, and I'll just do write-ups for them?
Okay. Like just at the bottom, just
Yeah. I can't remember. I don't think I did it alphabetically or anything like that, so I can.
Yeah.
I could write about them. That again, that just slipped through the cracks.
Who? What are we writing about?
Weather.
Oh, okay, yeah. See, that was a
let me-
Jason thing anyway. I didn't need to be here for that.
Right.
I've never even opened that document. Is that something to brag about?
Probably not. Not in a book you're writing.
Are we changing the name Wilden, or are we
Yeah.
keeping Wilden?
No, we got to change it.
We do.
Yeah.
Okay. 'Cause-
Like specifically, we got to. Like there are a couple. Like we were talking about this. Like
Tiefling's the only one we're actually allowed to use.
yeah, which is fucking weird. So like we got to change Wilden, which. Did I come up with a new name for that? I thought I came up with a new name for that.
You came up with a
Gitzerai.
new one for Gitzerai.
Gitzerai.
Gitzerai. I got to do one for the wild.
The other green ones.
Yeah, the other.
Wilden and then Goliath as well. Can we say Goliath?
I think Goliath we can say because like that's
You can't
an
own
old
that.
school. Yeah, like David and Goliath. Like
Right.
That's
Can't
that's
own
always
that.
be a
I don't
thing.
think.
Yeah.
It's Wizards. Maybe they own everything.
They own the
I mean,
word
they do.
dragon, so no, they
They
don't. That
do?
was a joke. That was a joke.
We
Oh.
can't use the term Dungeons and Dragons.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's fucking stupid. That one makes sense. We can't use the term Dungeon Master.
Yeah, that one's dumb.
What if I dressed like a leather daddy? What
Just
if I
in
just
general? Just-
What if I just hold a riding crop and the thing? Then can I be a dungeon master? Can I?
I think that's your cosplay for next Dragon Con. Is
Okay,
you're going to be a
cool.
dungeon master as a dungeon master
Okay.
for the live show,
Okay.
and all your friends are going to be
Oh,
massively
no.
uncomfortable.
Oh no.
And Valerie's going to have the seat right next to you.
Oh
Just
no,
to
no
say.
thanks.
Like scooch in, everybody, scooch in.
And then you say like, if you get a crit miss, I get to whip you on your bottoms.
Okay, now
I literally have to leave. Like, I literally have more things to say, but I have to leave now because you said that.
Jameson calmly
that's
explains to his wife, "Yes, we were wrapping up, and then."
Ah man, that's the meanest thing I could have ever done to Valerie. Okay, let's continue.
Okay, so we're changing Wilden. I gotta make a
Yes.
note of that.
Yep. Changing the wild.
Anything I
into
could get a
leather
suit or
daddies.
get the book pulled, we gotta change.
Yeah.
I'll make that. Blue. Okay.
Wilden or Glib Glubs now.
I like it. 17
Um,
apostrophes.
Oh, here's a big one. Just because I think it'll take a lot of time to do,
Mm-hmm.
but I feel very strongly about it. So I was looking at all of the characters and everything and all of that, and I noticed that because the characters are alphabetized, everything with V is in the T
Yeah.
section. And that's not okay.
That's the Countess, the Ebelmere family, and the Stanton something clan.
Clanton.
Yeah, Clayton clan. Personally, like, I thought about that too. I asked Jason about the Countess, and he says that's what she goes by now. Her old name is kind of like a dead name. Not
Right.
to co-opt that.
Yeah, but it
opinion,
still
that
should
word,
be under
but, like,
C though.
Yeah, it's Countess,
Okay.
comma, the. If you're going under alphabetization.
Yeah.
So it can say the Countess, but it's
right. It would be
you
in
start
C.
with the C.
We can just move those. That's fine. Let me. So Ebelmere clan would go under E, and Stanton, Clayton, Block, and Soren goes under S.
Is it Stanton Newbury?
Yes, it is Newberry. You're right.
I read things.
Good job. All right, so I'll
Where'd I
move
get
all of
Clanton?
these. I'm on it. You're right. That's what I should have done in the first place. I didn't really I don't know why I didn't think of that, because I did that with all the towns and cities. I removed the these when we were sorting them by alphabet. Got it. I'm so tired.
What was the thing you needed brief for?
The V.
Oh.
Then I have a thing about shield hands.
Oh, I just accepted that. I think that's something that Jason basically kind of made up. Like, that's the word for...
Yeah.
Yeah. So I like that you changed it to fit grammatically. But I think shield hands, like, just with the dash and the lowercase h is fine.
Okay.
That's what you did, and I just made it that. Because I was like, that works
Right,
as well as
well-
anything else. It's a made-up bullshit
Well,
word.
what I wanted it to be is shield hand, just one word, and no
Oh.
dash.
Yeah,
in
that's
the
kind
middle.
of that's how I've been
Okay,
doing
that's fine, too.
Okay. Then I'll make sure that happens as well.
Yeah, the next time you go through Brightport, I think you'll need to change it. Because I just click the check mark if I don't have a strong opinion, and I don't think Jason would either.
it. Wow.
Well, and Valerie's smarter than I am. That's
Well, you
straight
know,
up
it's
the
all
truth.
made up bullshit, Valerie.
Well,
Well,
grammar isn't. Grammar is very real, and I don't understand it. And there are so many times I'm just like, I'll let Valerie and Susan decide, responding to Jameson. Like, I don't know Elven, I don't fucking... Valerie, help! Like, that's...
Okay.
Yeah,
and
we can
that's
shield hand one word.
that's actually Bree.
Yes.
This is something that if we decide to do it, will need to be done, and I just want to know if you've already done it or if you need me to do it.
Mhm.
Well, actually, I would need to do it anyway. But the in the trivia section, how there's sometimes like little notes that the people write to each other.
Yep.
Do you have like a list somewhere of like each person and this is each of the documents that they're in? Because I'm thinking if we're doing a handwriting thing and we're handwriting these,
Yeah,
we
we
need to
want-
know
I
every
want Milo
person.
all to be one handwriting type, and
Yeah.
that's smart. I don't think I don't have anything like that right now. There's so few of them that I don't think it would be that hard to make, so I could do it if you want. No big deal. Like, I can just go through real quick and do it myself. That wouldn't be hard. So.
Just because that, and then also for indexing, I want to have that.
Okay.
So that was like in my list of things to do eventually. But especially because of the handwriting thing, that's something that does need to get done, so we know exactly.
I
what's
joked to
happening
Jason
with
I
that.
want him to be Milo because Milo has his one hand issue, and I think that would be great for Jason's handwriting. You do such a good job. Anyway.
And then we're not celebrating doppelgangers. I have a little asterisk by people whether both of their doppelgangers are mentioned, or if they are a doppelganger but only one of them is talked about.
Right. For character sections, I believe for the most part, it was just copy pasted. Like, that was kind of a little bit of a joke. It's like, oh, it's the same people in both towns and cities. But I think some were added. Like, I know Althea is in Onakal, but not Odysseia because the Odysseia one's dead.
The Onakal one's
The
dead.
Onakal one's dead. Sorry. Back
Oh.
and forth.
Wait, does that mean if she kills herself there's no one?
No, she already killed herself. That
already
was
killed
the
herself.
Onakal one. they killed herself.
Oh, okay.
So
Just
now
kidding.
there's a normal one. But if she
Oh,
kills
that's right,
herself,
because
there's
they
no
were
one.
in Odyssia. That's why I got confused.
Yes.
Yeah, that's why I got confused too. But it's the Onikal one who went to Odyssia who's dead.
Right.
So there's things like that. But for the most part, like I said, we're keeping them all the same bio at the end, just because it would be a kind of a waste of real estate when
Yeah,
some of
and
them are
I think
just
that's
shopkeepers.
fine.
Yeah.
But I think maybe in the bio it should say there's 2 of them.
Yeah, and that's maybe that needs to be a symbol where it's like a little orb.
Right.
So
Oh,
that's yeah.
All right, guys. I think I need to call it. I'm getting.
Yeah.
I need to go help with the baby.
Yeah,
But
Yeah.
no, you're good. You're fine.
we are. I think we're in a really good spot, though. If you guys do want to try to sit down at some point to talk about stories,
Sure.
I'll hit you up. Yeah.
yeah,
Let me look over notes for Divided and stuff, and yeah.
yeah. I mean, anytime in the next week is fine. I think.
All right. Sweet.
All right, guys.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Valerie, did you have anything else?
No, that's it. I'm good.
Okay.
Oh,
all right.
okay.
I was gonna be like, I can stay. It's fine. I didn't want you to get cut off and like.
No.
I still have 4 more things.
No, I'm all done.
Okay.
Okay.
I just
See you
can't
next week for the
stand your
book reading.
sad face. It's so
I-
sad.
Group B.
Yeah.
Woo! Excuse me. Sorry. It's been a long
Ugh.
day.
I have to set an alarm for that.
I forgot the word alphabet while we were talking about the alphabet, so like everyone's fine.
All right. Talk to you later.
Bye, Val.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.